Lin Zichen was reborn as a baby. With every sip of milk, his strength grew. By the time he was 3 months old, he had already kicked his legs 10,000 times. At 4 months, he learned how to crawl. By 5 months, he could already walk on his own. This was because Lin Zichen had a cheat-like system. Whichever body part he trained would grow endlessly stronger. At 6 months, he could even sit with his parents and watch TV. In this world, there were 2 extraordinary powers, cyborgs and gene fusers. Cyborgs were known as mechanical ascenders. They enhanced their bodies through mechanical modification. Gene fusers, on the other hand, merged with the genes of mutant beasts, gaining a portion of the beast's abilities. And humanity's enemies were obvious, the countless mutant beasts born from Earth's evolution. Not long after, a new family moved in next door to Lin Zichen's house. They had a daughter named Shun Qinghan. She became Lin Zichen's very first friend in this world. Though at that time, he had no idea their fates would one day be tightly bound together. By 7 months old, Lin Zichen had already learned how to run. He also mastered jumping and could even begin to speak. At 8 months, he started doing sit-ups to train his abs that he always practiced secretly when his parents weren't around. But as the saying goes, you can't walk by the river without getting your shoes wet. Inevitably, Lin Zichen was caught by his mother. She rubbed her eyes in disbelief. Did I just see my baby doing sit-ups? But when his mother looked again, Lin Zichen was already lying flat. She convinced herself she had just been too absorbed in writing her novel, her imagination running wild. A few days later, while bathing him, she screamed in shock and called for her husband. "Honey, our son is only 8 months old. Why does he already have abs?" His father thought hard. Their son's appetite had always been incredible, and now he even had abs. Suddenly, he exclaimed, "Honey, could it be that our son is a 1 in a million prodigy? Looks like our Zichen has a bright future ahead. Most likely a gene fuser, and, at the very least, a mechanical ascender." Lin Zichen let out a sigh of relief. His cheat ability had almost been exposed, but luckily his dad filled in the blanks himself, labeling him a genius. Having 2 novelist parents really was a blessing. Still, when it came to prodigies, he wasn't the only one. The news reported that in Kyoto, a 1,000-year martial clan had a boy born with divine strength. By the age of 2, he could lift a 20-kilogram dumbbell with one hand. After seeing this, his mother gently patted his head and said, "My Zichen is amazing 2.1 day. You'll be just as great as those so-called clan prodigies." Deep inside, Lin Zichen muttered to himself, "That's my mom. Always spot on, but will I really be able to lift 20 kilos with ease when I turn 2? At last, he made it to his 2nd birthday. Thanks to his use it or lose it skill, he could now easily lift 20 kilograms with one hand. Just then, his mother called out, "Chun-Chun, where are you? Qinghan's here to play with you. Come out already." Lin Zichen patted his shoulder and walked outside. Soon after, he saw a little girl. She held out an egg tart for him, but he told her she should eat it herself. Even though their minds were on completely different levels, he still let her stick to him. After all, she made the perfect weight attachment. But this attachment had one little problem. Sometimes it leaked that those times he could only shout for backup, "Mom, Qinghan peed again." By the age of 3, he could already lift 40 kilograms with one hand. Meanwhile, that so-called Kyoto prodigy, who was a year and a half older than him, could only manage a 30-kilogram dumbbell. Yet when Lin Zichen looked at his status panel, he fell into deep thought. His biological level was still stuck at normal tier 1. What would normal tier 2 be like? Could it mean surpassing the limits of humanity? Carrying these doubts, he stepped out of his house for the very first time, finally laying eyes on gene fusers and cyborgs in person. The very first place Lin Zichen visited was the library. Since his parents didn't allow him too much access to electronics, the best way to answer his questions was by going there. Through reading, Lin Zichen began to gain a deeper understanding of this mutated Earth. He discovered that ancient stone tablets found in mysterious ruins recorded that the world was divided into 6 biological tiers: normal, advanced, rare, epic, legendary, and mythical. Each tier was further split into 9 stages. While ordinary humans were stuck at stage 1 of the normal tier, compared to high-level beings, they were less than ants. Lin Zichen thought to himself. He had to increase his growth speed. Only then would he have a chance to survive in this dangerous world. Ding! You are reading. Spirit +1, Comprehension +1, Knowledge +1. Achievement unlocked. Read 100 million words. Reward, Biological attribute. Celestial Wisdom Root. Current progress, 10, 0, 86, 100 million. The system knew him too well. Right after reading, it immediately gave him a new task. From then on, Lin Zichen began training both body and mind. He read books while doing sit-ups, and by the time he turned 4, his total reading volume had already reached 43.96 million words. That year marked the beginning of Lin Zichen's kindergarten life. Not long after starting, he advanced smoothly to normal tier 2. By then, he could lift 80 kilograms with one hand, jump 1.2 meters straight up, and sprint 100 meters in under 11 seconds. Meanwhile, Shun Qinghan was often mocked by classmates as the bedwetting queen because she sometimes wet her pants. Seeing this, how could Lin Zichen just stand by? He leapt onto the podium and shouted, "Shut up! Anyone who dares call her that again, I'll make sure you wet the bed every single day." The other kids burst into tears, while Shun Qinghan looked at him with pure admiration. "Ding! Your domineering aura has terrified all your classmates. Title unlocked. Kindergarten Boss. Achievement. Ruler of 9 years of compulsory education. Titles. Kindergarten Boss. Unlocked. Elementary School Tyrant. Locked. Junior High Overlord. Locked." Lin Zichen hadn't expected that roar to trigger a new mission. His previous tasks weren't even finished yet, but a new one had appeared. Clearly, missions could progress in parallel. That was definitely good news. 6 months later, Lin Zichen successfully completed his reading mission and gained the biological attribute, Celestial Wisdom Root. From that moment on, he had perfect memory, and his learning ability reached the peak of humanity. Time flew by, and soon they were nearly 7 years old, graduating from kindergarten. During the vacation before elementary school, Lin Zichen kept training, pushing himself until he could lift 200 kilograms with one hand. His high jump surpassed 2 meters, and his 100-meter sprint dropped below 8 seconds. With the blessing of Celestial Wisdom Root, he had already mastered nearly all elementary school courses in his spare time. Before long, Lin Zichen finally stepped into his elementary school life. Since he was already self-studying middle and high school material, any competition in elementary school was nothing but child's play. But trophies meant nothing to him. What he truly wanted was just one thing: to unlock the title of Elementary School Tyrant as soon as possible. At school, whenever he had free time, Lin Zichen would tutor Shun Qinghan. She wasn't particularly gifted, but her diligence and obedience made up for it. After just 1 semester, her grades had risen to 2nd in the class, and the top spot, of course, belonged to Lin Zichen. To unlock his title as quickly as possible, Lin Zichen not only studied, but also entered every event in the school sports meet, shattering all the records. Just when he thought his elementary school life would be nothing more than this routine, a special transfer student arrived in their class. What made her special was that Lin Zichen could sense a trace of aura on her body that didn't belong to any human. Soon after, she was assigned a seat right behind him. As she walked past, Shun Qinghan whispered softly to him, "Xiao Chun, her hair is so beautiful, just like snowflakes in winter." But Lin Zichen had no interest in responding to Shun Qinghan at that moment. What mattered to him was the question, why did Bai Shui carry a non-human aura? Could she be a gene fuser, or perhaps the descendant of one? In the days that followed, Bai Shui would collapse on her desk right after class and stay motionless. The tea first, everyone was curious about her. But soon, their curiosity faded, and the classroom returned to its usual calm. Over a month later, that calm was shattered. White liquid began seeping from Bai Shui's body. No one knew exactly what the substance was, but its smell carried a foul stench. Because of it, her classmates began to shun her. One boy went too far. He poured water over her head, sneering that she stank and needed a wash. Everyone expected the usually aloof, quiet girl to get angry. Instead, she whimpered and broke down in tears. Her bullies only laughed harder, clutching their stomachs in amusement. Shin Xinghan couldn't bear to watch any longer and hoped Lin Zichen would step in for Bai Shui. Though he still hadn't figured out who this girl really was, Lin Zichen decided to act. He placed a firm hand on the boy's shoulder and said coldly, "Guan Chun, wipe the water off Bai Shui's desk." Guan Chun jumped in fright, stammering, "No problem, I'll clean it right away." He quickly grabbed a cloth and wiped the desk, knowing full well that Lin Zichen was infamous as the school's little tyrant. Even sixth graders didn't dare cross him. Then Lin Zichen turned to the rest of the class and declared, "Anyone who bullied Bai Shui, step up right now and apologize to her." The bullies shuddered in fear. One by one, they lined up and bowed to Bai Shui, admitting their fault. "We were wrong. Bai Shui, we're sorry. Please forgive us." Bai Shui stopped crying and sincerely thanked Lin Zichen and Shin Xinghan. From that day on, Shin Xinghan took the initiative to approach the white-haired girl, pulling Lin Zichen along, determined to become her friend. Whenever she had something tasty, Shin Xinghan would share it with Bai Shui first. Eventually, Bai Shui voiced the doubt that had weighed on her heart. "I smell so bad. Don't you too find me disgusting?" She quickly explained, "I'm sorry, it's not that I don't believe you, it's just that ever since I was little, I've always been rejected and shunned by the people around me. Having someone stay by my side for the first time. It feels too unreal, like I'm dreaming." "No, this isn't a dream," Shin Xinghan replied firmly. "I've been through the same thing as you. That's why I'll never despise you as long as you're willing. We'll always be best friends." Having once been mocked as the bedwetting queen, Shin Xinghan could deeply understand Bai Shui's pain. Bai Shui suddenly threw her arms around Shin Xinghan. Tears poured out like a spring as she sobbed. Thank you so much." Then she removed the necklace from her neck and said, "Xinghan, Xiao Chun, you've always shared food with me and treated me as a friend. I want to give you something too. These fangs were my birthday gift from my mother last year. Now, I'm giving them to you that I hope you won't dislike them, and I hope we'll always be friends." Shin Xinghan accepted the fangs with both hands, her expression solemn. Then she smiled brightly. "We'll always be best friends." Just when Shin Xinghan thought their friendship would last forever, something unexpected happened. A cyborg suddenly handled Bai Shui's transfer papers, and Lin Zichen overheard the principal saying her records were completely confidential. From that alone, it was clear Bai Shui's identity was anything but ordinary. From that day on, Lin Zichen and Shin Xinghan never saw Bai Shui again. Perhaps she had only been a passerby in their childhood. Compared to Bai Shui's departure, what came next weighed even more heavily on Lin Zichen's mind. The so-called Kyoto prodigy had successfully fused with beast genes at the age of 10 and could now lift a 1,000-pound boulder with one hand. Hearing the news, his father joked, "Again with the Kyoto prodigy? He's on screen, so often it feels like they're trying to turn him into an influencer to sell products." He continued, "Well, it is a 1,000-year-old martial clan from Kyoto. They probably have some advanced gene fusion technology." His mother disagreed. "That doesn't mean they should treat their own child like a lab rat." His father countered, "For martial clans, sacrificing the individual for the benefit of the family is the way. Otherwise, they'd never rise to that level." His mother snapped back angrily, Sure, you always know best." Lin Zichen ignored their quarrel, his thoughts spinning. That Kyoto prodigy used to only lift a 100-kilogram barbell, but after gene fusion, he could hoist 500 kilograms. His strength increased fivefold. Yet Lin Zichen was only 8 years old, and without any gene fusion, he could already lift 300 kilograms with one hand. By comparison, his potential was clearly greater. With that calculation, he was still full of confidence about his future, until he saw the next piece of news and finally understood what it meant to be ruled by fear. In a neighboring country, a devastating beast attack occurred. Footage from eyewitnesses suggested that the culprit was a giant mutant rat. One female office worker was even caught on camera being swallowed whole by the creature. Investigations later revealed that heresy cultists had fanned the flames behind the attack. A spokesperson from Sakura Nation appeared on camera, calling on all countries for aid and cooperation in eliminating the cult. This so-called cult was a brutal, anti-human organization. For the sake of profit, they had become lapdogs of the mutant beasts, orchestrating attacks in human society. Fortunately, Lin Zichen was born in a strong nation, where relative stability still allowed him to grow and bide his time. But just then, he heard a sonic boom outside the window. Rushing over, Lin Zichen saw countless government cyborgs flying past in formation. The next morning, Lin Zichen waited for Shun Qinghan so they could head to school together. At that moment, he noticed that the fong Bai Shui had given her was glowing. Only then did he realize the fong was from mutant beast, and oh wonder Bai Shui had carried a faint non-human aura. The source must have been this very tooth. The glow lasted only a short while, and they didn't dwell on it further. Soon after, they went on to school. Still, with the cyborgs assembling the night before, and now this strange reaction from the fong, Lin Zichen couldn't shake the feeling that something ominous was coming. As they passed by a red-haired woman, the woman suddenly called out to them. She asked, "Are you two siblings?" Shun Qinghan answered honestly, "We're not siblings. We're childhood sweethearts and the best of friends." "Childhood sweethearts. How enviable. I wish I had one too," the woman said with a smile. Then, with a hint of malice, she pressed further. "You're this young and walking to school by yourselves? Where are your parents?" Lin Zichen quickly pulled Shun Qinghan along, saying, "We're going to be late. Don't waste time talking." At school, Lin Zichen warned Shun Qinghan not to casually answer questions from strangers who try to strike up a conversation. Shun Qinghan nodded, saying she understood. After school, Lin Zichen led Shun Qinghan down a different route home. But as they passed an alley, they ran into the same red-haired woman from that morning. "Kids, you're finally out of school," she said with a smile. Lin Zichen's heart sank. Even after taking a detour, she had still followed them. The woman grinned. "Children, I've got delicious treats at my place. Want to come play at Big Sister's house?" This time, a man appeared behind her. Without a word, he lunged forward, trying to snatch them away. But Lin Zichen had already taken up a fighting stance. With a powerful punch, he slammed his fist into the man's chest. The man was launched backward like a cannonball. The woman was stunned. Impossible! How can an elementary school kid send a grown man flying? Before she could process it, Lin Zichen had already closed the distance and appeared right in front of her. Then, with a heavy strike, he smashed his fist squarely into her face. Lin Zichen picked up a brick and slowly walked toward the two attackers. With no cameras around, the only way to eliminate the risk was to finish them off, but he didn't want to. But if today's events leaked, his abilities would be exposed, and his plan to grow stronger in secret would be ruined. But at that very moment, the ground began to shake, and the roar of a beast thundered through the air. A monstrous creature appeared before them, a giant mutant rat. The rat opened its massive jaws, and in one bite, it tore half the woman's body away. Then it snatched up the man with one claw, munching on him like a snack. Without hesitation, Lin Zichen dashed toward Shun Qinghan, scooping her into his arms before sprinting with all his strength. Fortunately, before they got far, a government cyborg swooped down from the sky. The female cyborg soared straight toward the giant mutant rat. She halted only once she reached the top of its massive head. Raising her right hand, she began charging her weapon. With a sharp blast, she unleashed a barrage of anesthetic smoke straight at the beast. The giant rat was pelted with a fierce onslaught. Moments later, the creature staggered, dizziness washing over it. Seizing the chance, the cyborg slashed across its neck with her blade, ending the monster's life once and for all. Back home, Lin Zichen carefully analyzed the battle. The female cyborg wasn't particularly high-ranked. She had to weaken the rat with tranquilizer rounds first, then engage in close combat for 7 minutes before finishing it off. Still, the giant mutant rat was no easy opponent. Fully grown, it could reach over 3 meters in length with a biological level of normal tier 5. Lin Zichen reflected that it was sheer luck a cyborg had arrived in time yesterday. Otherwise, they never would have made it out alive. But Lin Zichen knew that true strength came from himself. He pushed his training even harder. Weighted squats, blood chi +2, leg muscle strength +2, squat proficiency +1. Although the threat of mutant rats still lingered, life went on. Before long, Lin Zichen and Shun Qinghan celebrated their 9th birthday. After making their wishes, they exchanged gifts. Lin Zichen gave Shun Qinghan a wooden hairpin, something he had carved in a single night, thanks to the blessing of celestial wisdom root. Time flew by, and soon they graduated from elementary school. By then, Lin Zichen had already unlocked the title Elementary School Tyrant, but he was only one step away from claiming Junior High Overlord, which would grant him a new biological attribute, Law of the Jungle. During the vacation before middle school, determined to unlock the title faster and strengthen himself further, Lin Zichen trained at extreme intensity. 1,000 weighted push-ups, blood chi +2,000, arm muscle strength +2,000, chest muscle strength +2,000, push-up proficiency +1,000. At last, on the day right before school began, Lin Zichen's biological level broke through to normal tier 3. All of his physical attributes saw a massive boost. All the while, he kept his eyes on the so-called Kyoto Prodigy. By the age of 14, the Kyoto Prodigy could already lift a 2,000-kilogram core with one hand. The giant ant gene was said to multiply strength by 4 to 8 times. Even at the lowest estimate of 4 times, that meant his true strength was only around 400 kilograms with one hand. Compared to that, Lin Zichen was still stronger. The thought stirred excitement within him. If he underwent gene fusion in the future, just how much stronger could he become? Soon, Lin Zichen officially began his middle school life. Having been the city's top student in elementary school, he was heavily recruited by the principals of elite schools in the end, he accepted Shanghai Middle School's offer, on the condition that Shun Qinghan could attend the same school and even the same class. On the day of enrollment, both the principal and homeroom teacher personally welcomed him, urging him to bring honor to the school. Lin Zichen exchanged a few polite words before excusing himself. His real reason for slipping away was simple. Shanghai Middle boasted top-notch sports facilities. Before school started, he and Shun Qinghan had already agreed to play a game of badminton together. But just as their match began, unwelcome guests appeared. A senior student stepped forward and said coldly, "You must be the new kids. This court belongs to upperclassmen only." 2 other older students sneered, their expressions lewd as they began to harass Shun Qinghan. Lin Zichen's expression darkened. "Hey, you lot, back off from her, and don't tell me you don't know the rule of first come, first served." The upperclassmen sneered arrogantly. "What rule? Even if the king of heaven himself got here first, we're still taking this court today." Lin Zichen said, "No more." He hurled his badminton racket straight at them. The shuttlecock tore through the air so fast it produced a sonic boom. It pierced clean through the student's racket and even the cap on his head. The 3 froze in terror, nearly wetting themselves. Too fast. Is he even human? Could he be a gene fuser? No way at his age. If that shot had gone off by an inch, our leader's head would have been split open. Immediately, they lined up, bowed, and stammered, "Boss, we were wrong," before bolting away at top speed. After that, word of the incident spread through the school, and no one ever dared to bully them again. Having already finished all his middle school coursework, Lin Zichen spent most of class time reading extracurricular books that truly interested him. After his nightly physical training, he would go online to learn new skills. Thanks to Celestial Wisdom Root, he steadily picked up photography, cooking, driving, swimming, wilderness survival, and a wide range of sports. To unlock the title Junior High Overlord as quickly as possible, Lin Zichen not only ranked first in every subject, but also represented his school in national junior competitions. He collected gold, silver, and bronze medals in math, physics, chemistry, and computer programming. The only reason he didn't take first place across the board was to avoid drawing too much attention. A semester passed, yet the title still didn't unlock. Instead, his dazzling performance earned him a swarm of fangirls. But Lin Zichen didn't care about that. Aside from tutoring Shin Han, his focus was entirely on the upcoming school sports meet. He believed that if he dominated the event, he would surely unlock Junior High Overlord. This time, he entered only 3 competitions: shot put, high jump, and sprinting. These 3 represented strength, vertical leap, and speed. Conquering all of them meant full-spectrum dominance in athletics. Though he deliberately held back to avoid suspicion, securing first place was still effortless. The moment he claimed every medal, a surge of power exploded within him. Your academic and athletic performance has crushed the entire school, leaving every student in your shadow. Title unlocked Frowny Face Junior High Overlord. Titles unlocked Frowny Face Kindergarten Boss, Elementary School Tyrant, Junior High Overlord. Achievement complete Frowny Face Ruler of 9 years of compulsory education. Reward granted. Biological attribute. Law of the Jungle. Law of the Jungle was a primal source of life. Standing above all beings, T allowed the user to devour the life essence of others to fuel their own evolution. Lin Zichen left school. He pondered what exactly this life essence truly meant. Then, suddenly, a realization struck him. He turned to Shun Qinghan. Qinghan, can I take a look at your fong? Shun Qinghan nodded and removed the fong, placing it into his hand. The next second, a system prompt appeared. Frowny Face, you have devoured a trace of the Abyssal Butterfly's life essence. Abyssal Butterfly Codex, 1%. When progress reaches 100%, you may evolve and gain the beast's attributes or abilities. Back home, Lin Zichen immediately searched for information on the Abyssal Butterfly, but he found nothing. It seemed that if he wanted to understand this creature, he would have to uncover the truth on his own. Later, Lin Zichen pulled another fong from his backpack. After devouring it, his Abyssal Butterfly Codex rose to 2%. Only 2%? Looks like the beast bone didn't have much life essence left. Fully unlock it. I'll need another way, he thought to himself. After that, to increase the intensity of his training, he began biking Shin Han to and from school every day. One day, he was stopped by Teacher Guo from the school's martial arts team. Having witnessed Lin Zichen's outstanding performance at the sports meet, Teacher Guo wanted to recruit him into the school's martial arts squad. Without even giving him the chance to refuse, the teacher left immediately after extending the invitation. Later at home, Lin Zichen casually swatted a mosquito. From that, he concluded, whether mosquito or cockroach, creatures too weak simply couldn't trigger the law of the jungle ability. Only powerful mutant beasts carried life essence worth devouring. To test his theory, Lin Zichen decided to visit a supermarket that sold beast meat. The moment he spotted the butcher's counter, he rushed over without hesitation. Nervously, he reached out his hand toward the meat. The instant his fingers touched it, a surge of vibrant life essence poured into his body. Clenching his fists in excitement, Lin Zichen thought, I was right after all. Shin Han, however, looked at him as if he were crazy. Zichen, what does beast meat feel like? Is it really different from normal meat? He didn't tell her the truth. Instead, he said casually, not really, it just feels fresher. Want to try touching it yourself? Shun Han quickly waved her hands. No, you can do the touching. Lin Zichen chuckled. Well, since we're here, let's buy some beast meat to take home. The package portions were perfect. He could use the excuse of buying them to touch and absorb more essence. Since beast meat was notoriously expensive, Lin Zichen settled for the cheapest option, the phantom squid. Shin Han frowned with concern. Zichen, this is way too pricey. Shouldn't we ask Aunt Xin first before deciding? Lin Zichen patted her head gently. I already talked to my mom. And she even told me to buy more so your family can come over and try it too. In truth, he had another reason for buying the meat. He worried that absorbing life essence might cause it to spoil instantly, and he wanted to test it. He scanned the code and paid 3 Jin, totaling 2,994 yuan. As he walked out with the package, his heart ached. That's so expensive. Who knows when I'll be able to afford it again? By then it was already past 9, so they headed straight home. On the way back, Lin Zichen couldn't resist and decided to try it immediately. As soon as his hand touched the phantom squid's flesh, a system prompt appeared. Frowny face, you have devoured a trace of the phantom squid's life essence. Codex progress, 0.1%. After Lin Zichen did the math, he realized that devouring 2 tails of phantom squid meat only pushed the codex progress up by 0.1%. By that calculation, he would need a full 100 gene to reach 100%. At 998 yuan per gene, that meant at least 100,000 yuan. The phantom squid's ability was to vanish completely in water. If he could unlock that skill, then the 100,000 yuan would be worth every coin. And this was already the cheapest beast meat available on the market. So he made up his mind. He had to find a way to make money. That kind of sum was enormous, and he couldn't just keep asking his family. Glancing back at the meat, he noted that even after some time had passed, it hadn't spoiled. Clearly, absorbing life essence didn't ruin the quality of the flesh. Encouraged, he boldly absorbed more of the phantom squid's essence in just moments. The codex progress shot up to 3%, but his focus slipped for a second, and he nearly bumped into a passerby. As he hurriedly apologized, Shun Qinghan suddenly pointed ahead. Xiao Chun, look, it's Teacher Strawberry. She's being held hostage. Ahead, a group of police officers called out. You're surrounded. Calm down and drop the weapon. The captain turned to a nearby officer. Bin, don't fire recklessly. The distance is too close. He's skilled, using the hostage as cover and constantly moving that a stray shot could kill the hostage. Officer Bin argued anxiously, but if we drag this out, the hostage will be in danger. What if we try knockout gas, Captain? The captain shook his head firmly. No, knockout gas is too obvious. If it angers him before it takes effect, he could do something extreme. Just then, Lin Zichen bent down and picked up a stone. In the blink of an eye, the stone whizzed past Officer Bin's ear. Crack! It struck the criminal squarely on the hand that held the knife. The officers seized the opening and rushed in, quickly subduing the attacker. Lin Zichen gave Shun Qinghan a subtle gesture to stay quiet, intending to slip away with her. But at that moment, the captain shouted, "Stop right there, student! Was that stone you threw?" Lin Zichen waved his hands frantically. And no, it wasn't me. Lin Zichen quickly pulled Shun Qinghan away. The captain muttered in confusion. Strange, why won't he admit it? Acts of bravery come with a cash reward, you know? The moment Lin Zichen heard the word reward, he froze in his tracks. Then, with even greater speed, he ran right back. Scratching his head, he said, "Oh yeah, I remember now. The stone was mine." The captain sighed. "Kid, come with me to file a report. I'll help you claim the reward." After informing their families, Lin Zichen and Shun Qinghan prepared to head to the station. He parked his bike in the park, locked it, and was ready to ride along to collect the very first payout of his hero persona. But then, disaster struck. The subdued criminal's body suddenly twisted, mutating into a giant rat before everyone's eyes. "Damn it! He's a cultist!" one officer shouted. "He's showing mutation symptoms. He's turning into a giant rat." The mutated beast lunged, pinning a female officer to the ground. The captain shouted into his comms, "Headquarters, this is Jiangbei West Road Park. A giant rat has appeared. Preliminary assessment. Occultist fused with Rat King genes. We are unable to contain. Requesting immediate reinforcements." Meanwhile, security officers had already drawn their guns and opened fire. Lin Zichen grabbed Teacher Strawberry with one arm and Shun Qinghan with the other, sprinting away as fast as he could. They hadn't gotten far when a cyborg swooped overhead. Lin Zichen froze in place and looked up just in time to see the female cyborg slam her boots squarely into the rat's face, knocking it back several meters in an instant. She then opened the iron plating on her chest, charging up her laser cannon. In the next moment, two beams of violet light blasted forth. The instant they struck, the rat's flesh began to disintegrate. At last, its entire body crumbled into ash. Lin Zichen was stunned. "So this is the true power of a cyborg. Incredible." Afterward, he began pushing his bike to leave. But to his surprise, he noticed that the piece of beast meat from which he had absorbed life essence had already spoiled. He realized then, absorbing life essence really did cause meat to decay, only with a delay. As for explaining it, he'd have to make up an excuse, best dependent on the cultists. Furious, Lin Zichen hurled the beast meat to the ground. Damn it, that cultist's fault. The cyborg's attack was too strong. It burned the meat and spoiled it. Shun Qinghan quickly comforted him. "It's okay, Xiao Chun. The important thing is that we're safe." Originally, they planned to head straight home, but at the captain's request, they boarded a police car to return to the station for statements. To Lin Zichen's surprise, the cultist's corpse was also loaded onto the vehicle. Though reduced to a pile of charred remains, the stench was still overwhelming. Suddenly, a thought struck him. If the beast fangs still contained life essence, then wouldn't this corpse have some as well? Could he possibly devour the Rat King gene from it? Acting on that thought, he slowly extended his hand toward the remains. The moment his fingertips brushed the ashes, a system prompt appeared. "Frowny face, you have devoured a trace of the giant rat's life essence. Giant rat codex progress. 5%. Lin Zichen was stunned. So much. It really is true. Freshness determines how much life essence can be absorbed. After finishing, he stretched lazily, disguising the act so Officer Bin wouldn't notice his suspicious behavior. Soon after, Lin Zichen arrived at the security team's office. The captain told him, "I've already submitted your application for the bravery reward. But tell me honestly, at that distance in such dim light, how could a middle schooler like you hit the cultist's hand so precisely with a stone?" Lin Zichen replied, "Maybe because I've trained my right hand a lot." The captain fell into a long, heavy silence. At that moment, the doors swung open, and Shun Qinghan entered with Lin Zichen's parents. His mother rushed forward and hugged him tightly. "Xiao Chun, are you all right? You scare me half to death." Lin Zichen quickly comforted her. "Don't worry, Mom, I'm fine, see? I even got a bravery reward." But his mother gripped his hand firmly. "Xiao Chun, promise me, next time you face danger, you'll hide somewhere safe first. All I want is for you to grow up safe and sound." Holding her hand, Lin Zichen answered solemnly, "Mom, don't worry, that I promise. I'll always protect myself first." As Lin Zichen left the security office, he overheard officers talking. The Rat God cult is getting bolder. They've infiltrated universities now, targeting students who can't qualify for gene fusion. The one killed tonight was a liberal arts student from Guangyan University who'd been lured in by them. Damn it, we need to wipe these traitors out completely. Lin Zichen thought to himself, that's just treating the symptoms, not the root cause. Truly in this, the so-called Rat King has to be eliminated. Walking down the street, he pulled out his phone to search for information on the Rat God cult. He found that their base of operations was located right in Shanghai City. Most members were social outcasts, and their activity had grown alarmingly frequent this year. A sudden theory crossed his mind. Could it be that the Rat King is trying to evolve into a higher-tier creature, which is why he has his followers gathering massive amounts of resources? Has the Rat King already developed true intelligence? A moment later, while passing a side street, Lin Zichen spotted a rat larger than a cat. His pulse quickened. Could this be connected to the Rat King as well? He shook his head. Forget it. This is the South. Rats being as big as cats isn't unusual. At that moment, Lin Zichen noticed Shun Qinghan had gone unusually quiet. His mind raced. Could it be happening again? Whenever she was nervous or caught in a sudden situation, she'd lose control, just like when she was a child. Yet Lin Zichen couldn't shake the feeling that this condition might actually be tied to some kind of hidden potential. Back home, his mother gasped, "What? The meat's gone." Lin Zichen quickly explained, "Things got too hectic at the time that I couldn't hold on to it. I must have dropped it." His mother sighed, finally accepting it. "Forget IT as long as you're safe. That's all that matters. Meat can be replaced." Lin Zichen exhaled in relief, thinking, "Good." She bought it. But the very next second, his father said, "No problem. I'll head back to the scene right now. Maybe I can still find it." Lin Zichen rushed to stop him. "Dad, it's too dangerous. Things aren't settled there yet. And even if you did find the meat, it'd already be spoiled. Don't risk your life over it." His father narrowed his eyes. "And how exactly do you know it's spoiled?" Lin Zichen stammered. I just guessed." Meanwhile, the security captain was still puzzling over how a middle schooler could possibly throw a stone with such force. Just then, he heard the sharp squeaks of a rat nearby. Following the sound, he spotted a massive, oversized rat. In the next instant, the rat lunged straight at him. The captain quickly opened fire. Moments later, the squealing stopped abruptly, the rat bursting into a cloud of blood and mist. The next day in class, Lin Zichen once again found himself lost in thought. Compared to last night's rat man and the female cyborg, he was still far too weak that he needed money, and fast, if he wanted to max out the Phantom Squid's codex progress. But scholarships from competitions were just too slow. He briefly considered becoming a study influencer or live streaming to sell tutorial courses. But he quickly dismissed the idea, and too flashy, too much exposure. No, my whole approach is wrong. In this world, gene-fused fighters and cyborgs were everywhere. Martial training was clearly valued above academics, and the prize money from martial arts tournaments dwarfed that of academic contests. Lin Zichen clenched his fist. This path is the right one. Time to act. Inside the gym, Teacher Guo was sipping from his water bottle. Lin Zichen walked up and greeted him. "Hello, Teacher Guo." Teacher Guo's eyes lit up with excitement. "Zichen, are you here to join directly? Or just to learn more about the martial arts team first?" Lin Zichen asked quietly, "If I join, will I have a chance to compete in the city martial arts tournaments? Do they pay well?" Teacher Guo grinned proudly. "Of course you'll have a chance, and the prize money isn't small. Each award is worth tens of thousands." Hearing this, Lin Zichen immediately grabbed his hand. "Teacher, please, you must let me join the martial arts team." Teacher Guo then waved for all the team members to gather. Each of them gave a brief self-introduction. Lin Zichen nodded and greeted them in return. Since he had never formally trained before, Teacher Guo personally demonstrated a set of basic punches and kicks. After finishing the routine, Teacher Guo wiped the sweat from his brow and looked at him. "Don't let the simple moves fool you that they're harder than they look." Even Xiao Li, the fastest learner on the team, needed a whole week to master them. Lin Zichen then began his practice. With the blessing of the heavenly root of wisdom, every move Teacher Guo had shown was already etched perfectly into his mind. Effortlessly, he replicated the punching routine. System prompt frowny face, you are practicing fist technique. Vitality +1, arm strength +1, hand agility +1, fist proficiency +1. Next, he moved on to the kicking drills. System prompt frowny face, you are practicing kick technique. Vitality +1, leg strength +1, leg agility +1, kick proficiency +1. Teacher Guo was utterly stunned. Impossible, absolutely impossible. His teammates were equally shocked. How can anyone master it after seeing it just once? In Teacher Guo's eyes, Lin Zichen was nothing less than a once-in-a-generation martial arts prodigy. That evening, his mother called him over for dinner. Lin Zichen rushed over with his bowl. "Mom, what's for dinner tonight?" With a proud smile, his mother replied, "Of course, it's the phantom squid you've been longing for." A dish bursting with color, aroma, and flavor was placed on the table. Lin Zichen inhaled deeply. "This smells amazing." Without hesitation, he took a bite. System prompt frowny face, you have devoured a trace of the Phantom Squid's life essence. Phantom Squid Codex progress, 3.01%. He froze. Wait. Eating it works too? If I'd known, I wouldn't have bothered touching it back then. Just then, a news broadcast lit up the TV. A genius girl shocks the nation. At only 14, she has successfully fused with the heart of energy, becoming the youngest cyborg in history. The footage showed her activating her core, lifting a 2,000-kilogram SUV with one hand, sprinting 100 meters in just 3 seconds, and leaping 8 meters straight into the air. Lin Zichin pondered. The Kyoto prodigy of the past, this genius girl of today, between gene-fused warriors and cyborgs, who truly stands at the top? The next news report followed. Tragic news. Security Captain He Chun-chan was killed last night at 11 p.m. in his office. Surveillance footage shows he was devoured by a giant rat that had infiltrated the security division. Lin Zichin's expression darkened. Could be the same kind of giant rat from last night. The urgency to strengthen himself grew heavier in his chest. After more intensive training, his 100-meter sprint time had dropped to 4.61 seconds. His vertical leap had reached 5.51 meters, and he could now lift nearly 1,000 kilograms with one hand. His martial arts practice hadn't been neglected either. He was determined to raise his power quickly and prepare for the martial arts tournaments. Early the next morning, Lin Zichin headed to the gym to continue learning new techniques and training. Out of curiosity, Shun Qinghan decided to tag along. Just then, a senior girl suddenly appeared in front of him. Junior Zichin, you haven't had breakfast yet, right? I brought you some milk. It's fresh milk. Lin Zichin pulled Shun Qinghan along and said firmly, "No thanks, I appreciate the thought." Unfortunately, this scene was witnessed by the notorious Simp Senior. His face twisted with anger. Damn it, it was bad enough he stole my championship at the school games. Now he dares to reject my goddess's gift? He stepped in front of Lin Zichin, snapping, "Where's your manners? You could have just accepted it and passed it on to someone else. Like me, why go out of your way to hurt her feelings?" Lin Zichin replied flatly, "Wouldn't that be even ruder?" The Simp Senior grew more furious. "Then drink it. If you don't drink, you're disrespecting her. Disrespect is the height of rudeness." Finally, he issued a challenge. "Lin Zichin, do you dare fight me? If I lose, I'll shut up forever. But if I win, you drink the whole carton of milk?" At that moment, a system prompt flashed frowny face, achievement unlocked. In formal competitive scenarios, eliminate 1,000 different opponents through the most primal means. Reward, biological trait, survival of the fittest. Current progress, 01000. Lin Zichin chuckled, "At last. After waiting so long, the fourth achievement quest has finally arrived." Lin Zichin looked at the Simp Senior and nodded. "Find out, let's spar." The news spread through the school like wildfire. Students whispered excitedly, "Did you hear? Lin Zichin is going to duel a senior in the gym. Let's go watch." Soon, the entire martial arts team had gathered, circling Lin Zichin and the Simp Senior in the middle of the arena. More classmates arrived to cheer. "Junior Zichin, we'll be rooting for you. Teach him a lesson." "Go, Junior Zichin. I'll snap tons of awesome photos of you in action." Hearing the support aimed at Lin Zichin, the Simp Senior scowled inwardly. "Teach, they all think I'll lose? I'm just striking while this so-called prodigy hasn't fully developed yet. Better crush him now, or in another month his freakish talent will leave me no chance to show off." Seeing his opponent still lost in daydreams, Lin Zichin cut in bluntly, "Hey, I've got dinner waiting at home. Can we make this quick?" "Fine, I'll grant you that." The Simp Senior replied with arrogant confidence. Teacher Guo raised his hand. "Remember, friendship first, sparring second. Begin." But at that moment, the Simp Senior suddenly shouted, "Wait!" Huffing himself up, he declared, "You've only been in the team for a month, while I've trained nearly 2 years. To be fair, I'll let you have 3 moves first." Before he even finished speaking, Lin Zichin had already dashed right up to him. "Fine, I'll grant you that," Lin Zichin said. and threw a single punch. The simp senior collapsed to the ground instantly. Foam bubbled from his mouth as he lay sprawled out, unable to move. Teacher was jaw-dropped. What? Just one punch? The watching students were equally stunned. No way, are you serious? That's it. It's over already. From the sidelines, Shun Qinghan waved her arms. He won. Zichen won. Two senior girls jumped with excitement. So cool. Junior Zichen. System prompt / You have defeated a rival, successfully capturing female admiration. Priority, mate selection granted. Current progress, 1/1000. Lin Zichen thought to himself, still 999 more rivals to eliminate before unlocking survival of the fittest. He turned toward the senior brothers nearby. How about you guys? Want to take this chance to spar with me too? At his words, the seniors stiffened instantly. Within seconds, they scrambled for excuses and slipped away. By now, the simp senior had gotten back on his feet, shouting angrily, I don't accept this. You caught me off guard. If we go again, I'll crush you for sure. Teacher would cut him off coldly. Zhang Kai, you lost. Accept it. Whether that punch was just luck or true strength, we'll know soon enough. Shaoli, you test it. Shaoli, step up. The would-be escapee jolted in fright as his name was called. Shaoli braced himself across from Lin Zichen, forcing a wry smile. Sorry, Junior, just don't hit the face, all right? 10 minutes later, the floor was littered with fallen seniors. To avoid looking too outrageous, Lin Zichen had deliberately exchanged a few rounds before knocking each one down. But the system only logged the victory over Zhang Kai. The other seniors, though defeated, didn't count toward his tally. So sparring doesn't work? It has to be an official defeat? At that moment, Teacher Gua clapped him hard on the shoulder, his face glowing with excitement. A genius. Zichen, you're truly a genius. You've only been in the martial arts team for a little over a month, and you're already our ace. This year's district martial arts tournament, we at Shanghai Middle School will crush the competition and take first place. Lin Zichen's eyes lit up. That's it, the martial arts tournament. If I win matches there, every victory should push my achievement progress forward. At that moment, the simp senior suddenly shouted at Lin Zichen. Lin Zichen, I Zhang Kai admit my loss. From now on, even if you sat on my head and took a dump, I still wouldn't dare complain. Everyone around recoiled in disgust at his words. Before he could even finish, the crowd scattered like the wind. In the days that followed, Shun Qinghan also began training with Lin Zichen, determined to qualify for the martial arts class. After a 3,000-meter jog, he had her practice martial arts techniques for an hour to refine her punches and kicks. Then he made her do sit-ups and push-ups to build raw strength and body resilience. Each session ended with him helping her stretch and massage her muscles for recovery. Meanwhile, Lin Zichen pushed himself even harder, doubling his own regimen. To unlock the survival of the fittest trait as soon as possible, he was willing to risk everything. Time flew by, and after a month of relentless preparation, the day of the martial arts tournament finally arrived. Not long after, the principal of Shanghai High personally came to Lin Zichen's home and discussed matters with them for an hour. In the end, it was nothing more than expressing his hope that Lin Zichen would stay on at Shanghai High. Before leaving, the principal looked at Lin Zichen and said, as long as you agree to continue studying at Shanghai High, you can tell me any of your ideas directly. Lin Zichen quickly pulled Shun Qinghan to his side. Thank you, principal. I only have one request. I hope Shun Qinghan can continue to be in the same class as me. The principal leaned closer and looked at Shun Qinghan. Shun Qinghan, right? When school starts, you'll report to Shanghai High together with Lin Zichen. Before leaving, the principal even made an okay gesture. The two of them quickly thanked him. Thank you, principal. After settling on his high school, Lin Zichen faced the last martial arts tournament of his junior high years. As expected, he once again led Shanghai Junior High to claim the championship. After receiving the prize money, Lin Zichen headed alone into a dense forest. At this point, he was only 20% away from unlocking the Ghost Squid Codex. Since he had no idea what uncontrollable effects might occur, he deliberately chose the mountains near Shanghai City to carry it out. Lin Zichen began devouring, and the system immediately prompted, "You have devoured a large amount of the ghost squid's life essence. Ghost Squid Codex, 100%. You have successfully unlocked the Ghost Squid Codex and obtained the biological trait, Blessing of Water Fusion. This greatly enhances your affinity with water, allowing you to move freely in it, vanishing without a trace." After reading the effect, Lin Zichen felt a bit disappointed. Blessing of Water Fusion? Why does this feel kinda useless? He quickly tested it in a nearby pond and found that after soaking for a long time, his skin didn't swell like before. While swimming, the resistance of the water felt noticeably lighter, but beyond that, there wasn't much else. Still, he thought it was reasonable. The ghost squid was only a low-level beast, without even the value of gene fusion. To gain better biological traits, he could just save money and buy them later. It was only a matter of time. Or once his strength improved, he could hunt wild beasts and devour them. For example, those giant mutant rats. With less than a week before the new semester, Lin Zichen's mother and Shun Qinghan's family decided on a joint trip. To better test the blessing of water fusion, Lin Zichen suggested going to the seaside. This was Shun Qinghan's first time at the ocean. Standing in the water, she only felt the chill of the waves. Lin Zichen, however, dove in and started swimming, his stats rising as he moved through the sea. Shun Qinghan called out to him, "Xiao Chun, don't just swim on your own. Come teach me how to swim." It turned out she didn't know how to swim, so it was the perfect chance to teach her. Lin Zichen began instructing her patiently, but since her athletic talent seemed average, he figured she probably wouldn't pick it up. To his surprise, he was proven wrong right away. Shun Qinghan managed to learn almost instantly. She then ducked her head underwater. To her astonishment, her eyes didn't sting at all. Instead, she could clearly see everything beneath the surface. The next second, she suddenly popped back up, startling Lin Zichen. Shun Qinghan exclaimed excitedly, "Wow, Xiao Chun, I'm amazing. I always heard people say it hurts to open your eyes in the ocean, but I don't feel a thing. It's just cool and refreshing. It feels great." Watching Shun Qinghan master swimming so quickly, Lin Zichen fell in a deep thought. Even with natural talent, there was no way she could have learned to swim instantly. It was far too unusual. Wait, could it be because of that? Could her childhood bedwetting actually be tied to an innate affinity with water? Perhaps that was the only explanation that made sense. Astonishing, really. Maybe Shun Qinghan's previous life had been like one of those special cultivation physiques from a Xinxia novel. That would be insane, far stronger than his own crappy system that required endless grinding. Next, he dove underwater with Shun Qinghan, but once again her performance left him stunned. They had been holding their breath underwater for over 10 minutes. For a complete beginner, heck, even for trained swimmers, that was no small feat. But then, an accident occurred. Shun Qinghan suddenly heard a strange sound coming from beneath the water. Startled, she immediately swam frantically toward the surface. As she emerged, Lin Zichen looked at her and asked, "What happened? Why did you suddenly get so tense?" Shun Qinghan, still shaken, said, "Just now I kept hearing a strange sound in my ear. It was creepy." Lin Zichen asked what kind of sound it was. Shun Qinghan shook her head and replied, "I couldn't understand it. Maybe it was a language, I don't know. All I know is that it was a woman's voice, very real, echoing in my ear until it vanished when I surfaced." To calm her down, Lin Zichen immediately brought her back to the hotel. Later, he searched on his phone but couldn't find anything matching her description. The mystery left him unable to sleep, so he threw himself into training. The system prompt rang out. "You've completed a full day of weighted sit-ups. Vitality plus 2,000. Abdominal strength plus 2,000. Sit-up proficiency plus 1,000. Your biological level has advanced to ordinary rank 5. He hadn't expected such a surprise. Ordinary rank 5. already strong enough to take on a fully grown mutant rat. Confidence surged within him. If he kept training, even ripping a rat apart with his bare hands might not be impossible. After his breakthrough, Lin Zichen tested himself on a deserted beach. Now, his 100-meter sprint took only 3.64 seconds. His vertical jump reached 6.98 meters, and he could lift a car weighing about 1,600 kilograms with a single hand. Compared to when he first broke into ordinary rank 4, the improvement was massive. Carrying these gains, he and Shen Qinghan stepped together into the beginning of their high school life. Thanks to Lin Zichen's outstanding performance, he had barely started school before drawing plenty of attention from the girls. Ah, is that Lin Zichen? He's so handsome in person, and he's on cleaning duty the same day as us. What luck! Unexpectedly, on that very day of duty, a new quest was triggered. Achievement: complete 1,000 tasks in cooperation with others. Reward: gain the biological trait, social animal. Current progress: 1 out of 1,000. Lin Zichen wondered to himself. He had no idea what effect social animal would bring, but sounded promising. Since school had just started and there wasn't much to do, he took the chance to visit the supermarket again. After all, with the Ghost Squid Codex already unlocked, it was time to choose a new target. That was when he suddenly spotted a type of mutant beast meat. The label read, Violent Eagle, 1,998 per gene. A smile spread across his face. I'll go with this one. The Violent Eagle was a beast ranked higher than the Ghost Squid. Its eyesight was exceptionally sharp, 30 times stronger than that of an ordinary human. Because of this, its hunting ability was terrifying, able to strike even rabbits that moved so fast they left only after images. Lin Zichen looked at the eagle meat in his hand and thought, if my vision improves, my combat power will soar as well. The Violent Eagle is definitely worth devouring, and besides, its meat is the second cheapest. As he placed his hand on the meat, the system prompt appeared. You have devoured a trace of the Violent Eagle's life essence. Violent Eagle Codex, 1%. He quickly calculated that every gene of meat would raise the Codex progress by 1%. That meant it would take over 200,000 to fully unlock the Violent Eagle Codex. It seemed that in high school, he would have to work even harder in competitions to save money. Fortunately, the prize money for high school martial arts tournaments was far greater than in junior high. Clenching his fist with tears in his eyes, he muttered, I'll light up the Violent Eagle Codex before sophomore year. Summer vacation ended, and Lin Zichen finally stepped into his high school life. On the first day of the new semester, the homeroom teacher and other subject teachers entered the classroom to introduce themselves. Hello everyone, I'm Han Yuan Feng, your martial arts training teacher, and also your homeroom teacher. Hello, I'm Kai Yunfei, the mechanical modification teacher. Hello, I'm Chung Bei, the wilderness survival teacher. Hello, I'm Lu Diren, the gene fusion teacher. Then it was the students' turn for introductions. Hello everyone, my name is Chu Yushi, and my specialty is music, chess, calligraphy, and painting. My name is Zhong Yijia. I like watching anime, doing cosplay, and playing sports. I'm Peng Huoguang. Most of the time, I just like staying at home playing video games. Soon, it was Shun Qinghan's turn to introduce herself. With so many eyes on her, she was extremely nervous. Hello everyone, and my name is Shun Qinghan. I usually like drawing, and please take care of me in the future. Lin Zichen's introduction was probably the shortest in the class. Hello everyone, my name is Lin Zichen. Please take care of me. Once the introductions ended, the class bell rang. Then someone asked, Shun Qinghan, what was your high school entrance exam score? She turned and saw it was a twin-tailed girl beside her. Shun Qinghan politely answered, I scored 709. What about you, Chu Xian? Chu Xian's eyes lit up. That's amazing. You're more than 10 points higher than me. I only scored 698. She quickly followed up. Then what was your physical test score? I messed up during mine and only got 95. It was terrible. Now, it was Shun Qinghan's turn to feel embarrassed. The physical test had a maximum score of 100, and getting 95 was already the mark of a top student. She had only scored 79, 11 points below the cutoff for this elite class. That score was impossible to admit out loud, so she stammered, "I didn't do as well as you." But Chu Xin pressed further. "So how much was it?" 94, 93. Shin Qinghan lowered her voice even more. "Lower than that." Chu Xin wouldn't let go. 92, 91, or maybe 90. Lin Zichen, unable to watch any longer, slammed his hand on the desk. Leaning closer to Chu Xian, he grinned. "Hey, mind if I add you on WeChat?" Chu Xian's face turned red instantly. The handsome guy is actually asking to add me? What kind of divine luck do I have today? She hurriedly replied, "Why, yes, of course, scam me." Shin Qinghan looked at Lin Zichen with gratitude. Thank goodness Zichen helped me out. If she kept asking, I wouldn't know what to say. It was too embarrassing. Lin Zichen then turned to another boy. "You, let's add each other too." "Sure, scam me." After adding them as friends, Lin Zichen casually created a small group chat, pulling the four of them together, just enough to qualify as a cooperative team. System prompt: total cooperative tasks completed, 2 out of 1,000. Lin Zichen was surprised. He hadn't expected this to count as a team effort. This achievement quest really is as easy as breathing. After creating the group chat, the four quickly got to know each other. He was from nearby Nangguan City, born into a martial arts family that had run dojos for generations. He had even placed 8th in the Nangguan Youth Martial Arts Tournament, bringing honor to his clan. Li Chuxin's family owned several clothing shops across the district, making her a bona fide little rich girl. Lin Zichen and Shun Qinghan also share their backgrounds, and before long, the four of them had become a close-knit circle. Just as the conversation was winding down, He suddenly raised a new topic. Guess who's the strongest in our class? I bet you'll never guess. Li Chuxin immediately pointed at Lin Zichen. I think it's Zichen. He's our district's entrance exam champion. He froze. Damn, Zichen, you're that impressive? But then he shook his head. Still, being district champion isn't the peak. Believe it or not, there are two real monsters in our class. The principal spent a fortune bringing them in from Nangguan. The boy in the third row by the window is Wang Shujia. He ranked third in Nangguan's entrance exam, and his 100-meter sprint time is 7.98 seconds. And that big guy in the back row, far right, that's Lu Gang. He was born with monstrous strength and can easily lift a 300-kilogram barbell with one hand. Shun Qinghan was stunned. Wow, that's amazing. Li Chuxin covered her mouth. Oh my God, seriously? Lin Zichen exhaled in relief. To him, a 7.98-second sprint and lifting 300 kilograms with one hand were things he had already surpassed back in elementary school. Soon, the class bell rang again. It was time to hand out the textbooks. Only 4 of them, covering the main courses: martial arts training, gene fusion, mechanical modification, and wilderness survival. Lin Zichen had already studied all 4 subjects on his own when he was younger. So during free activity time, he slipped off to a secluded spot to train. After all, the threat of the rat god cult still loomed. The police had only managed to catch a few cultists, while the rat king himself had yet to show even a shadow. That was why he had to raise his strength to rank 6 or higher. As long as he reached that level, he could stand his ground even against mutant rats. In the afternoon, the first practical class was wilderness survival. The teacher pointed at a pile of wood and asked, "Can anyone start a fire by friction?" He couldn't help but grumble. That kind of skill is useless in real life. Who would ever bother learning it? But the very next second, Wang Shujia and Lu Gang were already rubbing sticks together. He was left dumbfounded on the spot. The teacher chuckled. "What's going on? You two are incredible. Don't tell me you even know fire making by friction." Lu Gang smirked. "Teacher, I took a summer class back in junior high and learned it there." Wang Shujia said proudly, "I taught myself online back in elementary school." Soon, the other students began practicing as well. Lin Zichen quickly taught his Dawn Squad teammates a few tricks to master fire starting. Next came martial arts training. "Today, I'll be teaching you a special breathing technique," the teacher announced. No sooner had the words left his mouth and the two boys from Nangwon started showing off again. It was kind of funny, but they really pulled it off. Lin Zichen, however, already knew these techniques, yet chose to keep a low profile as always. Before they knew it, more than a month had passed, and it was time for the monthly exam. The homeroom teacher adjusted his glasses. For this test, I've set up some rewards. First place gets 888 yuan in cash, second place gets 666, and third place gets 333. Lin Zichen perked up instantly. Cash prizes? And first place is worth 888 yuan? That's practically enough to buy half a gene of violent eagle meat. The exam began, and with money on the line, everyone gave it their all. An hour later, it was over. Coincidentally, the gene fusion teacher, Lu Diren, also scheduled a test, with the exact same rewards. After 2 rounds of exams, he was already slumped in defeat. Meanwhile, the other students started complaining. Damn, these questions are brutal. They actually asked me the energy wavelength of a laser cannon. Who memorizes that? Even if I did, what's the point? Seriously, the test was way too hard and way too niche. And that final problem was insane, asking about the relationship between a reverse thrust airflow device and atmosphere pressure and making us calculate the exact numbers? With all those decimals? What the hell? Ugh, I was hoping for a 90. Now I'll be lucky to scrape a passing 60. While everyone was still complaining about how brutal the test was, the Nangwon duo who loved to show off started bragging again. Wang Shujia went first. That test was kind of tough. How did you do? Lu Gang shrugged and said, I probably scored a 95. I only missed the last question. You? Wang Shujia replied calmly. Same here. Only the final sub-question tripped me up. I guess I'll be at 95 too. You couldn't hold back. Come on. Here we go with the humble brag again. Do they have to flex non-stop? I kind of want to punch them. Soon the grades were posted. First up, mechanical modification. Gui Yinling, 52. Shen Qinghan, 61. Shen Qinghan turned back, beaming. Xiao Chun, I passed. Lin Zichen smiled. Hard work pays off? Well deserved. He scored 88. The class erupted. Wow, that's awesome. He sat perfectly straight, but was ecstatic inside, thinking, guys, once I grab third place and that 333 yuan, I'll treat you all to something nice. But the teacher immediately doused his hopes. Lu Gang, 95. Wang Shujia, 95. The two were beasts, missing only that final question. Wang Shujia said proudly, Teacher, that last problem had a lot of calculation. Give me 10 more minutes, and I'd have worked it out. Lu Gang grinned. Same here. He was instantly annoyed. Damn it, they're showing off again. Still, third place should be mine. But the teacher's next words crushed his hopes. This exam was tough, but you might not believe it. Someone in our class scored a perfect 100. Lin Zichen, the most shocked with a bragging duo. 100? He actually got a perfect score? How? How is that even possible? This is insane. He screamed inwardly. Holy crap. Lin Zichen is that strong. Shen Qinghan looked at him with delight. Zichen, you're amazing. Li Chuxin even pumped her fist. Glory to Shanghai. Lin Zichen raised his hand. Teacher, will the 888 yuan prize for first place be given out? The teacher replied, Don't worry. I'll send the prize as a personal red envelope in the class group chat. An hour later, the gene fusion exam results were announced. The Nangwon duo, Lu Gang scored 81, Wang Shujia scored 83. For a test where most students had failed, this was impressive, barely reaching the excellence line. But the two clearly weren't satisfied with a result they couldn't brag about. Shen Qinghan scored 78, good enough to rank in the top 5. And once again, Lin Zichen scored a perfect 100, pocketing another prize. Hiyu, Wang Shujia, and Lu Gang all felt another blow to their pride. The Nangwon duo raised their hands and challenged. This paper was so hard. How could anyone possibly score full marks? Maybe he had the answers ahead of time. The teacher immediately denied it. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. He continued, I personally wrote all the questions on this test. You can't find the answers online. There's no way to cheat. The duo had nothing left to say. He then sneered, "This is ridiculous. If you fail, you fail. Don't be a sore loser and start accusing others of cheating. It's embarrassing for us from Nongguan." Li Chuxin chimed in, "Exactly. Wang Shujia's behavior is tacky. People like that always make a scene." Lunch passed in a blink, and Class 1A quickly moved on to the afternoon wilderness survival exam. The rewards matched the other subjects. The exam consisted of 3 parts: rock climbing and tree climbing, swimming, and starting a fire by friction. Wang Shujia leaned toward Lu Gang and said, "Lu Gang, we didn't beat him in the 2 theory tests this morning. This afternoon, wilderness survival and martial arts. We have to take back our face." Lu Gang clenched his fist. "Don't worry, I'll go all out and smash him, avenge our shame." The exam began. The first event was rock climbing, judged by speed. Lin Zichen easily left the Nongguan duo behind and took first place. Next came tree climbing. As expected, the duo was left in the dust again. Wang Shujia was in despair. "No way. Lin Zichen is way too insane. I gave it everything I had." Lu Gang roared inwardly, "Damn it. I can't even see his shadow." But Lin Zichen was more concerned about Xin Qinghan. She hadn't even finished the climb, predictably landing in last place. Still, it didn't matter. He knew once the swimming event came, she would regain her confidence. Then came the fire starting challenge. For the sake of the prize money, Lin Zichen had no choice but to crush the duo again. He lit a flame in just 58 seconds. Wang Shujia's mind reeled. I swear in class he wasn't this fast. How is Lin Zichen so quick at everything? His hands are unreal. The final event was swimming. This time, Shun Qinghan absolutely crushed the Nongguan duo, dealing an even heavier blow to their pride. What? Lin Zichen being faster, I can accept, but Shun Qinghan suddenly exploding like this? No way. I must be too nervous. It has to be an illusion. After the wilderness survival exam, Wang Shujia and Lu Gang went completely quiet, not saying a word for a long time. Next came the martial arts test, sparring on the arena stage. This reignited the Nongguan duo's hope of showing off. So what if he aced the survival skills? In a martial arts class, what matters is the martial. It's about physical strength and technique. If your combat ability is weak, no amount of other achievements will save you. In sparring, I'll reclaim the top spot I lost. Before the sparring began, the teacher arranged a physical assessment as a warm-up. 3 stats were measured: 100-meter sprint speed, maximum single-arm lift, and standing vertical jump height. Lin Zichen clocked 7.78 seconds in the sprint and lifted a 330 kilograms barbell with one hand. His standing vertical jump reached 2.18 meters, first place in every category. To avoid standing out too much, Lin Zichen hadn't even gone all out, only edging slightly past Wang Shujia and Lu Gang's results. It still stunned them. He's faster than me in the sprint? And this guy was only a district champion in the entrance exams? That makes no sense. His strength is greater too, even though he doesn't look that muscular. Could it be that he just hadn't fully developed back then? But they quickly encouraged each other. Lu Gang, don't panic. Losing in the test doesn't mean losing in the spar. Real combat isn't just about stats. It's about martial arts technique. We still have a chance. Yeah, losing the assessment doesn't mean losing the fight. Our martial skills are way beyond our peers. We still have a shot. After the physical test, everyone moved to the arena to begin sparring, wanting to quickly complete the survival of the fittest achievement. Lin Zichen was the first to step onto the stage. But with his test results still fresh in everyone's mind, no one dared to challenge him. Even Wang, Shujia, and Lu Gang stayed back to observe. The teacher finally had to call someone out. Lu Wei, get up there and spar with Zichen. Lu Wei was frozen, but he nervously climbed onto the platform. To save time, Lin Zichen finished the fight in an instant. One punch, and it was over. Since he aimed to challenge everyone in class before the bell rang. He kept accelerating, dropping opponents in seconds, showing no mercy, not even to the girls. The Nongguan duo was stunned. No way. Lin Zichen's this strong? I bet he wasn't even going all out in the physical test. How is anyone supposed to fight him? At that moment, Yu leapt onto another platform. Pointing at Liu Gang, he shouted, Liu Gang, I'm warmed up now. This is my peak state. Do you dare fight me? Liu Gang leapt onto the platform, secretly pleased. If he hadn't challenged me, I'd have to face Lin Zichen. Beating Lin Zichen? No chance. But beating you? That I can handle. He charged straight at Liu Gang, throwing a flurry of punches and kicks, all of which Liu Gang absorbed head-on. Then Liu Gang seized a chance and grabbed Yu by the leg. With both hands, he hurled Yu into the air, and with a final toss, sent him flying clean off the platform. Liu Gang smirked. Yu, among everyone I've fought, your hand-to-hand skills are the best. I'll admit you're the strongest in the class when it comes to technique, but unfortunately, I'm still a step above you. Watching this, Lin Zichen vaulted over from another platform. Perfect. I can snag another achievement point. Otherwise, no one will dare step up. He looked at Liu Gang and said, Come on, let's spar. Liu Gang forced a grin. Bring it on. Who's afraid of who? He charged first. Take this move. Liu Gang unleashed a technique passed down from an old master. But as he closed in on Lin Zichen sidestepped with lightning speed. Holy crap, so fast. He followed up with a punch, and Liu Gang was sent tumbling off the platform. From the crowd, someone jeered, Wang Shujie, your buddy just got wrecked. Aren't you going to get up and avenge him? Yeah, protect Nangwan's glory. Don't chicken out. Wang Shujie, get up. Wang Shujie leapt onto the stage and shouted, Shut up. I was going to go up anyway. Quiet down. What's meant to happen will happen. I'll find a way to beat him. At that moment, Lin Zichen stood before Wang Shujie like an immovable mountain.